a major downtown intersection.
It's going great, Brother K. The locals here are just fantastic. They're young and passionate, and gives me a lot of hope, to hear how enthusiastic they are about dealing with this issue and the events that they're going to and what they're doing with it is just phenomenal.
Kaylin Rohr, what fuels your passion to educate the American public on this issue?
Just having a little boy especially, and looking at him and knowing that this is happening to little baby boys everywhere, and I don't feel right staying silent. So that's my biggest motivator, is looking at him and knowing that this could have happened to him if he was born to different parents or in a different state or something. So yeah, after I had him, I had some postpartum depression, and part of it was having recurring nightmares that something was happening to him in the hospital and I couldn't stop it. And
did they try to sell circumcision to you?
Most of the nurses were pretty good. One of the pediatricians was pretty good. I had one doctor come in and ask, he was like, has your son already had a circumcision, or am I taking him for that? And I was like, wow. Oh, no, you're not.
Wow. Oh, look at the manipulative language there.
Yes.
Has he already?
Yes.
Why don't you tell our viewers why you feel so strongly that you drove here to join Bloodstained Men on the front lines in Indianapolis today?
Well, yeah, I've just always done this because I just feel like everybody's entitled to their whole bodies. Period. Like, nobody should have surgery done at birth for no reason if they're healthy.
And you have children?
Yes, I have 2 children.
2 girls?
A boy and a girl.
A boy and a girl. How old's your son?
He's almost 5 and no penis problems.
Yeah.
American moms are fighting back with death to circumcision. It is a cruelty unparalleled in American family life. We do know that the large media in the media in these large towns generally are blacking Bloodstained Men out. They don't believe that it's important to let their viewers know that there is resistance to circumcision in the United States. And talk about that, Harry Gierman, the media blackout in these large markets.
Well, it reminds me of, there was a movie called Spotlight, which was about the Boston Globe's expose of the pedophile priest situation in Boston. And at one point, when it was clear that the expose was being revealed, one of the reporters looks to another one and said, "We knew about this all along. Why didn't we say anything?" And there's going to be a moment in American media with the same thing with circumcision. They're going to look at each other and say, "We knew about this all along. Why didn't we say anything?" And it's a shame that we're not there yet, but we will get there. So we just have to keep at it. They are only going to, it's only going to become more and more obvious that they're shirking their duties as journalists. So at some point they're going to have to recognize that we're here.
Thank you, Harry Gierman. We will be in Dayton, Ohio tomorrow. Autumn, tell our viewers why you came out here today.
My son was supposed to be circumcised because I was completely uneducated, and I just thought that's what you do. And then he couldn't be circumcised, so a mom messaged me and told me to look up Brother K, and Brother K saved my son that day.
Oh, for goodness sakes. And how long ago was this?
He will be 2 in 6 days.
Wow,
yes.
Wow. What did they say? Why couldn't they circumcise him? Did they say?
His line didn't line up. They said the line from his testicles and his penis didn't line up, so he would need anesthesia at 6 months old to go under to be circumcised. And I thought, that's not right. I'm not going to do that to my baby. So I asked, and a mom told me to look up you.
And you messaged me.
Yes, I did.
And we talked.
And you gave me a lot of amazing information. And my family is thankful for you every day.
Well, thank you, Autumn Keene.
K.
Yes, and Autumn and I exchange messages a lot, and that's thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's a wonderful.
We're so thankful for you, and all of our boys will be saved.
I'm gonna break down. I'm gonna cry here on the live broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, because that's very, very moving. Because I've been at this a few years, and that's very moving. Thank
you, Brother K. I actually fell into the trap of circumcision, and it took me about a year to actually wake up and realize that it's not right. So, but this is Grayson.
And Madison's going to introduce us to her children.
Say hi. I'm just here today to spread awareness, and so people don't make the same mistake that I did.
And you and Autumn are friends or neighbors? Or?
We're friends. This is actually our first time meeting today. Yeah, we met specifically to come here to see you. Yep.
Well, it's bitter medicine, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
To learn this truth.
Yeah, and it takes a lot to forgive myself for it, but I know now that I know I can do better.
How old is he?
He's 2. He'll be 3 in July.
Is he your only?
No, I have a daughter right there, Harper.
Okay.
She'll be 2 in September.
Okay. And doctors told you nothing.
No.
Did they solicit it?
No, they honestly, like, she just came in the room and she just gave me the story about the doctor. She's like, he's really good at circumcision and he'll be fine, and we give him sugar water to block the pain, and I just didn't know any better. I was only 18, so, but now I do, and I do want future children, so if I do have another boy, I know what to do now.
I'm a nurse, and when I was beginning nursing school, I watched a circumcision. And the moment the doctor placed that first clamp on the baby's penis, he let out a huge piercing scream. You knew he felt it. It was a fierce, piercing scream.
You feel quite strongly about this issue.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It was done to me. I'm pissed, and I've been trying to look at it from every angle it can be looked at. Like, why does it happen societally? Like, what's with all the money involved? What's with all the religion involved? What's with all the social stigma involved? Why can't we talk about it? Like, where is the hush? Why is the hush power surrounding the issue so strong? So, yeah, I spent a lot of time basically being a keyboard warrior on the internet, arguing with people about it, and just trying to understand it as best I can, and trying to understand how, like, when people do finally come to terms with the fact that they lost something, and that when something was done to them, what do they go through? Because what I went through is not going to be the same as what everybody else went through. And if this is my second to field, my biggest theory as to why this sticks so much, why it's so persistent, is because I think that people, children, even going into adulthood, they want to protect their image of their parents. And in order, they have a sunken costs fallacy going on in the belief that what was done to them was good, because to admit that what was done to them wasn't good would be to tarnish their image of their parents.
So you were saying you were a 15-year-old mom?
Yes, so I was 15 when I had my boys, and they just took them in, had their circumcision done, and I didn't know, they didn't go over the risk or anything. They read to me, that they could bleed out, that over 100 kids die a year, or, that there's higher risks of, certain issues. I would have never gone through with that surgery for my kids. So I wish someone informed me of it. And then when we were 2 and potty training, one of my twins had a skin bridge. So when I took her to the doctor had admitted that this is a side effect of circumcision wrongly done, that it was too tight. So we had to undergo a second surgery because of the first unneeded cosmetic surgery. So I'm very passionate in informing mothers on that this is an unnecessary risk, and that it's not needed, and that foreskin is just a normal part of the body.
I'm out here because I have 2 boys of my own, and I did some research when my child was, when I was expecting my first. He's 13 years old, and I found out that there's a 1% chance of him bleeding to death if he were to be circumcised, and that was too risky for me.
I watched every video on YouTube. I watched everything on your channel. I watched everything on Brother Kay's channel. I looked at every site I could stumble across. I researched and changed the words I was looking for to try to see if it would elicit some different information. And then I decided that no, we're not going to do this anymore. And what's next? How do I deal with my family?
I mean, I think it's pretty messed up that we do that for no good reason. I mean, when you get down to it, there's not a good reason to do it. So any myths that we've used before as reasoning have been busted. So why are we doing it?